Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to the final two episodes, episodes 14 and 15 of Doom Patrol, season 1 at least. And yeah, we don't normally do 2 episodes, but I wanted to finish this off with the finale, especially after last episode, just so we could start the next donation reward show basically at the start of July, just to keep things pretty even that way. I don't know. But last we left off, they escaped from the ant farm. They eventually managed to get Mentallo his memory back, unfortunately at the cost of his dear wife. And everyone is now ready to take on Mr. Nobody, who is excited that we're finally getting to the superhero show aspect of things. And he's merchandising because gotta merchandise. But yeah, so we have a 2-part finale, clearly. The last episode clearly set up for that, and I'm very excited to see how we close out this season. As I've said in the past, this season has very much focused heavily on a lot of very serious topics. While yes, this show has a lot of great comedy, a lot of goofiness, a lot of just utterly ridiculous bullshit, such as just violent, monstrous butts, a goat that farts and has a dimensional portal in its mouth, and so on and so forth. While this show does shit like that, it also tackles extremely sensitive topics such as parenthood, mental illness, queer representation, and so much more. And it does it very well, like really well. It handles the topics with the respect and care that they deserve, while also showing how hard they can be to handle in real life. And it intermixes that with all kinds of fun humor and ridiculous situations and characters, but it never makes it feel like it's being disrespected in doing so. It always feels like it's very much respected. And I really have to appreciate that. That the writers and creators of this show put forth that much effort into making this so respectful in that regard. So, moving forward, where do we go? Well, there's still quite a few things that aren't fully finished out here. And I don't think all of them are going to be done in this season. Because, for example, I don't think we're going to get back to Cliff's daughter this season. There's 2 episodes left. We're going to have this big confrontation with Mr. Nobody. I don't think we're getting to Cliff's daughter. So that'll probably happen next season. Larry has had closure. We've had closure for most of the characters to some degree. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Now, I did predict, and we're going to see if this comes true. I did predict last time that Vic would get closure now. That he would get closure now, and it would end with him being able to come back and help the team probably when they need it the most. That's my theory on that still. We'll see if it comes true. Because he has a lot going on with his father after nearly killing him because of Mr. Nobody's manipulation. So yeah, we'll see how that ends out. We also have the Bureau of Normalcy, which I assume we're not going to fully get back to in this finale. I feel like they're going to be a continuing threat because things are definitely not concluded with that. So we'll have to see where else they take that in the future. And overall, I'm just interested to see how this story ends for season one, at least. Um, and I can pretty much say with confidence at this point that yeah, of course we're going to be reacting to season two, but we are taking a break. We are moving on to something else in the meantime. And I will let you know what that is in the afterthoughts. Though, if you are on Discord, you already know what it is. But for those who aren't, I will let you know in the afterthoughts what will be replacing Doom Patrol Season 1 in this Sunday slot. So, in the meantime, though, we're just going to get on with this and hope for the best with these last two episodes. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. These final two episodes of Season 1 of Doom Patrol did not in any way go as I expected. I don't even know how to comprehend this. So, we find out the history of Mr. Nobody. He was fired from the Brotherhood of Evil for, I guess, not being evil enough. His girlfriend left him, and it eventually caused him to go to that Nazi scientist who turned him into Mr. Nobody. And we also find out through these episodes that Niles was actively behind not only Mr. Nobody, but everyone. All of our heroes, he actively caused their accidents that was required to turn them into what they are now. Also, he could basically use them as experiments to find the secret of immortality to protect his daughter. Now, it didn't mention what happened to his wife at all. The cave woman who he had met and fallen in love with and had relations with that we saw before, it didn't mention what happened to her. We just know he had a daughter with her. So, wonder if we'll find that out next season. But yeah, so we find out that everything was coordinated by Niles. Eric Morden, Mr. Nobody's firing from the Brotherhood of Evil, the accident that caused Cliff to nearly die and killed his wife as well. Although he was supposed to die on the racetrack. To be fair, we even thought at first that he did, but then it was revealed that he actually managed to survive that crash to actually get past it. So that was actually a coordinated crash and everything. But like the the dock that Rita fell through, and so on and so forth. All of it was planned by him so he could use them for his experiments. And it's fucked up. After all of this is revealed, after Mr. Nobody basically has won, everyone kind of goes their own way. For an entire year, I think it is, everyone just kind of does their own thing. Or was it a year? It was some amount of time, some notable amount of time. But they were all doing their own things. Rita and um, uh, oh my God, why is his name escaping me again? Larry. Rita and Larry were living together. Rita was working as a high school drama teacher. Larry was just continuing to improve on the amount of time he can spend conscious with the negative spirit out of his body. We had Jane stealing this cure, or not really cure, but this medicine to help with her abilities, and just kind of drugging out and ignoring life. Cliff is just wandering around buying food from food trucks to leave for Jane. And Vic is just having to deal with the news that his father had, fucked with his memories and everything. But eventually, everyone is summoned back to Doom Manor because Danny the Street has been kidnapped. See, after Mr. Nobody got his revenge, he found himself very bored and unfulfilled. So he ended up coming in contact with Ezekiel, as we now know his name is, the Curtis Armstrong cockroach. And Ezekiel managed to convince him to go at the evil plan again. They ended up bringing in Admiral Whiskers, and so they planned this big thing, this big evil plan. They kidnapped Danny the Street in order to find Niles' daughter. But while having done so, Ezekiel and Admiral Whiskers are enlarged to like kaiju level height by the daughter and betray Mr. Nobody. Left without his powers, he's just basically desperate for anything. So he has the Beard Hunter, well, I think it's actually Danny who has the Beard Hunter, call for help while he's getting drunk. So the Beard Hunter does karaoke, which ends up like psychically reaching the members of the patrol, because we'll just call them Doom Patrol at this point. And so that's how they manage to get back there and team up again. They begrudgingly agree to help Niles here. Not for his sake, though, but for his daughters and for Danny the Street's. Because at this point, they just despise him after finding out that he was the cause, that he caused all their accidents and whatnot. So they go in. They find the destitute shell that is Eric Morton, Mr. Nobody. And with Vic hatching a plan, they basically plan to blow shit up. Everyone gets swallowed by Ezekiel, except for one. Larry creates an atomic explosion to get them out of there, to help them escape. And it works. They escape with a remaining brick of Danny the Street. Ezekiel is out, but is killed shortly thereafter as they cut their way out. And Larry is the only one remaining of normal size. Everyone else has shrunk because they're in Ezekiel, who returned to normal size. So they're smaller than a cockroach. But they are out, along with Niles' daughter. And yeah, things did not go as I expected. As I would never have guessed it would end this way. I would never have guessed I would end up seeing a rat and a cockroach make out. Or that we would have the main villain end up not being the final villain of the season, but instead the final villain's ending up being a rat that seemed like a one episode antagonist, and this cockroach that seemed just like a crazy conspiracy theorist herald of the end times, voiced by Curtis Armstrong, who's just clearly in there as a joke character. I never expected those two to be the final villains. But in the end, okay. And they did defeat Mr. Nobody in the end, because he's trapped in the painting along with the Beard Hunter, who I thought something more happened to him before. Like, he said he was like, he followed the trace to Danny the Street and everything, but I swear I thought he died before. Let me look this up. I have the list of episodes up. I don't remember how many episodes that was ago, but it was at the end of the episode. Yeah. Okay, this just says he was attacked. It says he was attacked, but that's about it. So, okay. It doesn't actually say he died, but it very much looked like that back then. But anyways, all kinds of wild shit had happened. And now I'm thinking about it. When the Beard Hunter he was searching for Niles, right? He found a fake Niles, I believe. And he was attacked by the deer thing. That was Niles' wife's summon creature thing, right? That makes me even more confused. Because if this all happened in Danny the Street, then the only reason that could be there is because of his daughter, right? Could his daughter have the same powers as his wife did? He did mention she had powers and everything, and that it did very much make it clear that she was dangerous. But did she somehow inherit these same powers? I mean, it's possible. That's got to be it then, right? That still doesn't answer the question of what happened to Niles' wife. And I keep saying wife, but I don't think they're ever like officially married or anything. I could just say partner. But either way, doesn't explain what happened to her. It's just, there's a lot of unanswered things in this. We're definitely not done with this series by any means. And obviously I know there's season 2 already out. I don't know if season 3's out or is coming out. Again, another thing I could just look up here. Let me see. Okay, at the end of last year, it was renewed for a 3rd season, but the 3rd season is not yet out. Okay. Also, it looks like season 2 is less episodes. Yeah, season 2 is 9 episodes instead of 15. So that's interesting. I'm not going to look up any spoilers, by the way. I just have the basic information here. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where this goes. Because a lot of things have changed with this finale. And so it's going to be interesting to see like what comes of this with Niles' daughter, with them now shrunk. I presume that's going to get solved probably in the first episode. But no more Mr. Nobody, so who's going to take over as the villain? Because there's no more Mr. Nobody. I presume the rat is dead, Admiral Whiskers. And we saw Ezekiel die. So who's going to be the villain next? But either way, this season was definitely all about these characters really just growing as people and learning to overcome their pasts and their own issues, their own mental traumas. And as I said in the pre-thoughts, it's really cool to see this series handle that kind of stuff really delicately and really well. And so I'm wondering, like, is there going to be like overlaying themes with season two as well, where it's going to be like, okay, so season one focused on all of this stuff. What's season two going to focus on in terms of, the mental health and related kinds of topics? It's going to be interesting to see. I definitely want to see certain plot points touched on further, such as Cliff and his daughter. That's honestly the one I'm most invested in still. But I want to see these different plot points touched on. I want to see things expanded upon even further. And maybe we'll get more with Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man. Never know. But I'm very excited to continue this somewhere down the line. Not right at this moment. We are going to be taking a break, but I am excited to get to season two eventually. That being said, the question now remains as to what is going to replace this in the Sunday slot starting next week. So this is a donation reward, so obviously we have to go do a donation reward as the replacement. And so there are a couple things still on my list, but I think it's time we start something new, because everything else that's on my list currently for shows for donation rewards are going into like season two and whatnot. But there's one I have not gotten to a season one for yet that has been on the donation reward list for quite a bit still. So I think it's about time I finally get to it, and that is Fire Force. Donation reward for Matthew Vasquez. So we will start reacting to that next Sunday and see how it goes. I'll talk more about that obviously when we get to the the first reaction for Fire Force itself. But I'll just say I know very little about it going in. I have seen some character designs. That's about it. And I think I might have seen a clip or two randomly. But I know very little about it. Let's just put it that way. I basically know like bare bones basics. But either way, I would love to hear your thoughts on these final two episodes of Doom Patrol. So tell me what you thought of episodes 14 and 15 of season 1 of Doom Patrol. And thank you so much for tuning in. So yeah, we will get into season 2 eventually. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.